So already starting and trying to trigger this really virulent pandemic. The CDC and the WHO has stopped counting or tracking these cases. So we could be seeing a multiplication of these virulent cases already now in the USA and Canada. And at some point, the media will focus on it. They will focus on the terrible deaths of these people from holes in their lungs and whatever. And in this moment of panic, when the vaccine centres are open, they'll be saying, those people who were saying it was the vaccine who got it all wrong, they were lying to you, it's actually the virus that's the real danger. And people in this fear and confused state of mind will think, maybe it was all lies about the vaccine, and they'll rush off and get their vaccine, which will then kill them and create an even more virulent virus. So that's
something which I realised just a short while ago was that in order to really introduce something dangerous to large numbers of the population, they don't have to vaccinate everybody. And just to illustrate the point, if I don't get vaccinated, but you do, and so does your friend, and then we all meet for dinner to talk about it, and I say, well, I'm all right, I haven't been vaccinated, there's something now cooking in your bodies that I'm going to catch simply because we shook hands over dinner.
Absolutely.
So they don't have to get everyone, right?
No, I mean, I think that they would also like to use the opportunity to put in people these nanochips. There's mounting evidence that Baxter and so on is planning to put into its swine flu vaccine these nanochips. And certainly WHO has put in place the legal framework and the technical framework to vaccinate everybody. So I think they really are aiming for maximum possible coverage. But to kill people, they don't need to vaccinate everyone. They just need to vaccinate enough people to unleash this really virulent pandemic. Eventually people will just put on their face masks or use their colloidal silver. Sensible people will already be thinking of taking these measures. If there's any threat of a virus, they'll be having their face masks on and boosting their immune systems with vitamin C.
And D3, I believe.
D3. And so to try and reduce the number of people who survive by taking these measures, I think they would like to get as many vaccinated as possible, because this will mean the disease goes straight in your bloodstream, and there's nothing you can do basically once it's there. Okay,
so what you're flagging up here is that there are two scenarios going on here. There's and this all sounds very black and stark, but there's the genocide scenario and there's the total control scenario, and they can go hand in hand with each other.
Yes, I believe that's the plan. The WHO has, I understand, put in place this comprehensive electronic surveillance system already, and as soon as we get our nanochips with all this information about our health from the health insurance associations or whatever, they'll be able to track us via satellite and computers or whatever they have for the rest of our lives, even if we survive the pandemic, the vaccination, the wars, the famines and so on. So in this way they will have managed to not only establish one world government, but also a technical structure to control every single one of us on the planet.
We've had it told us by a number of insiders on and off record that this whole structure just exists already. They've got the databases, they've got a lot of information on most people. They're doing all this for a reason. This is like the final match that's lit to the fire, if you like.
Yes, yes.
So my question to you then is based on what you know, because you must also have people writing to you, presumably confidentially offering information.
I've had a few private confidential emails from people who've been saying they agree with what I'm saying and with the bioterrorism charges, but because of their position, they're not able to come out and say that openly, and obviously I don't publish that kind of thing either. But I'm not a gold mine of secret information. The thing is, it's all out there. It's all out there if you just read the pandemic plans, you read the international health regulations and so on. The reason why people are mystified is because the mainstream media consistently deflects attention from these crucial facts, or put the spin on them, which misleads people about what their nature like. saying this pandemic is natural and caused by pigs when it's never been found in pigs. It's not new. The swine flu, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, has been there was an article documenting cases of it in people since 2005, 2009. Wasn't spreading, wasn't lethal. The mainstream media is what's really mystifying, misleading people, and all I'm doing is looking at the facts behind the media and bringing them together into relationships so that people can see the bigger pattern. That's it.
What's the timescale, do you think, from here? This is the 8th of September, and we'll get this out in the next few days if I possibly can do, because time is of the essence. What do you think is going to happen as we roll on towards the new year?
Well, I think these few weeks are crucial to our humanity. I believe all the plans are in place to start these vaccination centres from October, and indeed people are going to be offered time off work in cities like Boston, 2 hours, I think, unpaid leave to go and get their swine flu jab. Kids are going to be offered it free or whatever. So everything's going to be done at first to persuade people to take this vaccine. And this already, we have to stop that. We have to make sure the protest is significantly large, that these vaccine centres do not stop injecting children, the gullible, the uninformed, whatever, with disease which can then be transmitted to other children sitting in schools, to their parents, and then to the colleagues at work.
It's a perfect place to spread it all in schools.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, in the army is another place. The soldiers are very vulnerable. They seem to be the first ones as well to get these mass forced vaccinations. So we don't have a minute to lose. It's going to be too late when the calls finally come through, the forced vaccinations demands come through, barring a miracle. So far they haven't managed to spark the virulent pandemic they hoped to. In April, I think they really hoped that they had set free a virus that was going to mutate and become very virulent, and they didn't manage it. And maybe they won't manage it this time either, but the more people they vaccinate, the greater the chances are that they really will spark a lethal pandemic. Bear in mind, Baxter's 72 kilos of live bird flu virus is still in the company's possession and could be put into the vaccines here. And if every Austrian or every third or second Austrian gets it, it spreads rapidly to Germany, to Czech Republic, to Slovenia, to Poland, and will kill many, many people.
Well, it spreads almost instantly nowadays in these days of modern travel. I mean, in 1918, people were travelling by steamships, and this is rather different now.
Yes, and particularly because of schools and workplaces and so on. So I think we don't have that much time. I think they want to, or reckoning with being able to move towards forced vaccinations towards the end of the year, maybe kind of gradually from November, December, January. But I think we have to stop even the voluntary mass vaccinations starting from October.
So, what's your message to people here? Because some people will be watching this thinking, right, I'm going to get my colloidal silver and everything else, and I'm not going to be vaccinated, and thanks for the information. But